Hi, and welcome back to another episode of More Than a Business Live. I am your host, Mitch Case. I'm the owner and founder of More Than a Meal, where we help you strengthen your relationship by showing gratitude and appreciation to those that you care about most, one meal at a time. I am incredibly excited about this one. We are actually on site at the Missouri SHRM Conference down to Lake of the Ozarks at Margaritaville. This has been an incredible conference for us, for our business as the first time down here. But really excited to keep this going for our live show. And one of the biggest announcements that we have at this point, we now have a sponsor for the More Than a Business podcast, which is True Captive. So in healthcare that is personal and insurance that is not complicated. If you want to learn more about this unique captive healthcare program, go ahead and visit their website at www.truecaptive.com. And with this live show that we have, I've just noticed over the last 3 years, I really wanted to highlight the individuals that have been working really hard behind the scenes when it comes to building inclusive cultures, building places of work that people want to show up to and don't get those Sunday night scaries or anything along those lines. And this next guest that we have is a huge part of making sure that those individuals, those HR executives, those business owners have a place that they can come and get education, cut loose and have some fun. So I'm really excited to introduce our next guest, Lori McCombs. Lori, come on in. We're going to do this together right now because we're in the same room and can't make it work otherwise, but I'm really excited to have you on the show. So why don't you let everybody know a little bit about what you do with Mayor Group, and then we'll kind of dive into some impact stories.
Sure. So Mayor Group is an association management and consulting company located in Kansas City. It's a small boutique firm, and we have been in business for just over 25 years. So I have served human resource professionals and other professional associations in the Kansas City area for 25 years. And SHRM of Greater Kansas City, I am their executive director and have been in that role for 25 years. So it's great. I love this work, and I'm excited to be here today.
When I say she does some work, she just put on a several hundred person conference, and she's leaving. She's going to take a break for some golf and then leave and head to Nebraska and do something even bigger. So the work that you are doing I know is not easy, but you are doing an amazing job at it based off of what I've seen from this conference at the first time. So congratulations. And I appreciate you letting us be a part of that. We always like to do an impact story. So maybe tell us of a story that maybe Mayor Group or even yourself has had an impact on maybe the SHRM chapters. And I don't know did you mention what SHRM stands for?
I did not. It's the Society for Human Resource Management. So one of the most rewarding things that I have done in my career with my business at Mayor Group is I started an organization that was supported by the state of Kansas for disability awareness. And that tied in really well with my SHRM groups and chapters, really with a focus on working with individuals with disabilities and making employers and HR professionals in particular more aware of their needs, more aware of their accommodations, more aware of how to actively engage them in the employment process. And that was probably one of the most rewarding things was station from scratch. It actually was a local chapter of, at the time, it was called the Business Leadership Network. Okay. That group has now rebranded to Disability In, and it's a national organization that has it's just huge. They just had their conference with over 2,500 members.
Oh, so my goodness.
I do really like the work on the human resources side, creating conferences and learning spots for these professionals. So it's
interesting.
Great.
So how would somebody get involved with that or learn more about that?
So the disability organization, there is a local chapter still in Kansas City, and it's called Disability In, and that's just a great opportunity. It's a safe networking group that talks a lot about accommodating individuals with disabilities, and in particular in the workplace.
Yeah.
So it's great. And so
that's an interesting topic. That's not one we've kind of discussed before. And I know oftentimes there can be certain instances where we're trying to be equitable across an entire organization, and those that maybe have certain disabilities are trying to figure out how do we make this, whether it's a gift of appreciation or an event or whatever that may be. What are some of the challenges that you've come across in that space? And if you have some answers to that, but I'm curious, just like, how do you navigate through some of that stuff?
Well, I think that we've learned a lot over the years, especially from an HR perspective, around accommodations. When you put together an event like this, you're constantly looking at the needs of all of the attendees, from dietary specifications to accessibility to topics, diversity, inclusion, how we address speakers, how we set up rooms, how we all of that stuff comes into consideration. But I think that it's a challenge to balance all of those things, and with wellness is a huge issue, not just in the HR profession right now, but just across any profession or any person for that matter. And so also making sure that there's opportunities for that, work, and for people to be heard and appreciated and felt and all of those things. So
one of the things that continuously comes up as I have conversations with some of the guests is just like the personalization to each individual. Now that can be hard when you have a 600 person conference. So trying to navigate that. I remember you reached out to me because we're staying at a different location in the hotel. And I was thinking, you've got 600 people that you are trying to make sure fit, and you personalized an email to me, making sure like you got a place to stay, right?
Right. Yes.
So I was very, very impressed down to that kind of detail that you take into this massive event that you just hosted. So we are going to switch over to that. We're going to talk a lot about the Missouri SHRM. As I said, this is the first time my wife and I have been a part of this through our company, More Than a Meal. We had no idea what to expect, and we were just blown away with the quality of individuals, the organization of it, and just the flow of everything. And then not to mention the amazing party that you allowed us to be a part of. So if you are listening here, I forgot to ask, if you have any questions, feel free to comment in that. Let us know if you're listening on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, and we'd love to kind of hear from you guys, and we'll help answer any of those comments as they come through.
Sure.
But maybe tell us a little bit about Missouri SHRM, what it's all about and what the purpose is, and why somebody might consider doing that. And then once we get to the party aspect, we might give them a little sneak peek of what they missed out on.
Sure, absolutely. So the Society for Human Resource Management at the national level is celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. So that organization has been serving the human resources professionals and employers for 75 years, which is amazing. SHRM of Greater Kansas City was the 5th chapter chartered with SHRM in 1953. So we are coming up on our 75th anniversary as well. So Missouri SHRM is structured in that they have affiliate chapters in each state. And then the state councils, which is what Missouri SHRM is, the Missouri SHRM State Council, provides support to those chapters. And then the chapter president has a sitting position on that board. Okay. So in addition to the chapter leaders across the state that then can collaborate at the state level and learn and share with each other, we have individuals that volunteer in core leadership areas like membership, college relations, diversity and inclusion. So we have a board at that level. It's not a membership organization at the state level, but it is a membership organization at the chapter level. And we have 11 chapters in the state of Missouri, so spread throughout the state.
That makes sense why we have such a packed house. Outside of the opportunities that people have to like learn more, what are some of the other things that somebody might want to get involved with, whether it's their local SHRM chapter or attend these types of events for their state level? Sure.
There's a lot of opportunities to get involved at the local chapter level from, various committees. We do a lot of work in the community, a lot of work with the students. Our college relations committee is very active, as is our workforce readiness committee. We do a lot of resume reviewing and working with a big initiative also is working with getting previously incarcerated individuals back into the workplace.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we do a lot of work in that area, assisting them with, resume prep and those sorts of things. And it's a great opportunity to give back. A lot of opportunity for programming and professional development, educational programs are a big part of what we do at the local chapter level and at the state level. So Missouri SHRM not only puts on this annual conference, but we have an annual legislative conference that we put together that's virtual. And we also have an annual strategic HR series that we do that is virtual as well. So
Okay, so we kind of alluded to what I'm also realizing, that HR individuals, they carry a lot in their heads. They have a lot of people that come to them. They have a lot of burdens on them. And what we're realizing is a lot of them like to cut loose. And Lori here has put on a heck of a party. So we do have to give you just a little bit of a sneak piece on what you missed. Last night, we had a 80s themed prom party. So we had the Cherry Pistols that were rocking out, and people were heavily encouraged to wear something accordingly. And
Yes.
anytime that my wife and I have an opportunity to wear something themed, we like to go all out. And apparently so does the rest of HR. So this is a photo and another friend of ours, Scott, here in the Kansas City area. And yes, his jacket and pants are disco ball reflective wear. So I'm not sure where he got that, but this is the type of thing that really set this conference apart from the other ones that I've been to in the past. I told you I was an engineer for many years. I go into engineering type conferences, and engineers are not most known to be the most outgoing, fun individuals. So being a part of this has been really, really fun for us, just to kind of cut loose as parents, but also learn more about the world itself. Sure. So yeah, just really had an amazing time. And I think just anybody that's interested in learning more, look here, we got, Jared?
I do know Jared.
Hey,
Hi, Jared.
It's good to see you, buddy. We missed you. Anybody that is truly looking to be in that space, whether you are directly an HR executive or somebody that can have individuals speaking firsthand, this has been a fantastic organization to be a part of. And I would say that you guys welcomed me and my wife in with very wide open arms. So really, really appreciate that. So we're going to switch over to our next category of this, is where we talk about, what motivates you. I know every single day isn't just a fun party to go to. There's a lot of things that you have to do, and stress and challenges. So what continues to motivate you to serve so many organizations and so many people?
I really get motivated by people in general. I really enjoy the diversity in being able to work with the speakers. So don't cut yourself short. You were also a speaker for us and had a great, amazing session. But working with the business partners and really working to focus on ways that we can all come together at events like this, and everyone feels, included. Everyone, if you're here to further your education, then, it's a great place for you.
Absolutely.
If you're here to meet potential clients, it's a great place for you. We also, I really like to put focus on trying to be creative and finding, new and different ways to do things. And we really put a lot of focus this year on health and wellness. And so we had, we started out the conference with a HIIT workout, which wore out several people. I understand.
We did not wake up early enough for that one.
And then we also had a mindfulness session yesterday. And then tomorrow we're doing another kind of relaxation session that we'll do those to kick off the day. This afternoon, we're playing cornhole and doing line dance lessons.
Line dancing. We're in for the line dancing side of things.
So I think that motivates me to find different aspects that appeal to everyone. Another thing that really motivates me is working with the speakers. And that's something new that I'm really shifting some of my business focus on, to be a speaker connector, really giving these keynote speakers, or speakers in general, strong leads to other conferences and opportunities to present.
Revenue opportunity.
It could be. It could be. We're hoping that it is.
A lot of amazing. I sat in on a couple conversations or speakers, and I was blown away. So yeah, you've done a really good job at that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's great to have, national and international speakers that want to come and present at these conferences. So I think just through the years, I've made a lot of connections in that way, and that really gives me a lot of energy. And I love being on site and seeing everyone and having everyone say hello, and seeing people that have been to this conference for as long as I've been working in this conference. So
yeah, I've spoken with a handful of people that have been here for like 13 years in a row. And I know obviously COVID kind of slowed things down for a little bit, and it sounds like they're moving back in the right direction. But anybody that's showing up that many years in a row is obviously you're doing something right with that.
Yes.
Maybe speak to, I'm just curious, from any of the different organizations that you've helped serve, like what are some of the biggest challenges that you face day in and day out working with these HR groups? And I don't want to just generalize the HR because you serve more than just HR
Sure.
groups, but what are some of the biggest challenges that you face?
I think, I don't know that challenges is, I don't really view it as challenging, but I do think that everything is, the world is changing and work is changing. The world of work is changing. The expectations of, employees is definitely changing. COVID has changed all of us in various ways. And so I think that that's probably something that has been challenging. We were able to luckily pivot and continue to do, I don't like that word necessarily, but
It's used a lot during the
it does
pandemic.
get used a lot, but we were able to shift and do our conferences virtually and continue to offer that same service to all of the clients that I serve. And so really incorporating the mobile app and all of that is a big thing that takes a lot off. It's a challenge in an aspect, but it also makes things easier. It makes us easy. It's very easy to push communications out. It's just the technology has made my job significantly easier, so less challenging for sure.
That app, just like in general from my other experiences, was so easy. I mean, we came in ready to figure out how are we going to collect the information and we could communicate directly inside of there, send them a message.
Sure.
I even had one lady reached out to us after she left the booth and was just like, hey, what you and Emmeline are doing is absolutely amazing and it warms my heart. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah, that's
I appreciate that. So having that opportunity. And then for the speaking side of things, I was able to put polls out there. So I was actually able to have some real data within the group itself on how often they're doing their LinkedIn posting and that kind of stuff. So it was just really beneficial that it allowed me to be interactive with their group and provide even hopefully more value to those individuals.
Yeah.
All right. Is it too early to ask like what's going to be the theme for next year's Missouri
It is
SHRM
not
conference?
too early to ask.
Can we get a sneak peek?
Yes.
All
we will be
right.
launching registration tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Yes. And
I thought you were going to take a day off.
Well, sort of. The theme is Artful HR.
Okay.
So we are having an art theme next year. So we're really going to play off of that and have the chapters bring pieces of art from their specific areas across the state for their raffle items. We will probably be doing some painting pre-con classes.
All right.
So
now,
more to come.
Is art more so the creative drawings and painting? Or are we talking music and poetry?
We're talking more about paintings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and just that HR isn't art. It's really, the work that they do every day is never the same. So, so we're excited about that. So you'll learn more tomorrow at noon.
All right. All right. Well, breaking news on More Than a Business Live. Lori, what's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you if they're interested in working with you through Mayor Group or attending an upcoming conference? And go ahead and let them know the other areas that you do serve, because it's not just Missouri.
Absolutely. So the best way to reach me is on LinkedIn under Lori McCombs, or you can email me at Lori@Maher, MAHER Group, LLC.com. And I will be packing up and leaving tomorrow. I'll have about a week and a half, and then I'll be loading up and heading to HR Nebraska, which is being held August 16th through the 18th in Omaha, Nebraska. That conference will have over 700 attendees on site, so that will be great.
Wow.
And I also then will be shifting my focus a little bit to October, which is the Illinois SHRM. That's in just outside of the Chicago area. And then next spring, we'll be back in Connecticut for the Tri-State SHRM Conference, which is Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. So, but in addition to that, I have a few other conferences, sprinkled in. I have several bar associations, employment law bar associations in Kansas City, and also work with the Total Rewards Kansas City chapter and the ATD chapter in Kansas City. So there's always something.
I know you're involved in those two
as
well.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's always something going on for me in all of those different aspects programming and conferences and all sorts of fun stuff. So
I love that. Well, kudos to you, because this has truly been an amazing time for us while we've been down here. So yeah, if you have questions for Lori or interested in anything along those lines, reach out to her. You can also reach out to me, and I'll make sure to get you connected with her as well. And that's it for today. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Lori, thank you so much for being a guest here again. Congratulations on such a successful event this past week. And we will be back next Thursday back at our original time at 3 p.m. Because we're on site in Margaritaville. Everything happens a little bit earlier, apparently, at Margaritaville.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. It absolutely is. So thank you so much. And we will see you guys next time. And again, if you guys are interested in learning more about True Captive, our sponsor for this live show, you can go to truecaptive.com. Take care, everybody.